think it was all wrong. All this. Oh, Oswald, my poor dear boy. Has this been a big shock to you? All this about father, you mean? Yes. Your poor, unhappy father. I've been so afraid it's been too much for you. What on earth makes you think that? Came as a great surprise, of course. But I can't really feel it makes any difference. Not much difference. That's your father. Was so utterly unhappy. I feel sorry for him, of course. As I would for anyone, but... Is that all? Your own father? Oh, father, father! I knew nothing about my father. All I remember about him is he once made me sick. What a terrible thought. Surely a child ought to love its father in spite of all. What if a child has nothing to thank its father for? Never knew him. You don't really believe in this old superstition, do you? And you, so enlightened in other ways? You call that mere superstition? Yes, surely you realize, Mother, it's simply one of those truisms people hand down to the children. Ghosts. Yes. It's not a bad word for them. Ghosts. Oswald, then you don't love me either. Well, at least I do know you. Yes, you know me, but is that all? I also know you're very fond of me, and that's something I must be grateful to you for. And you can also be extremely useful to me now that I'm ill. Yes, I can, Oswald, I can. Oh, Oswald, I almost bless this illness that drove you home to me. I can see I haven't made you completely mine. I must still win you. Yes, 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 those are just empty words. You must remember I'm a sick man, Mother. I can't be bothered very much with all other people. I've got enough thinking about myself. I shall be calm and patient. And cheerful, Mother. Yes, my darling, you're right. Now, have I taken away all that remorse and self-reproaches? Yes, you have. But who now will take away this fearful dread? Dread? Regina would have done it. For the asking. I don't understand you. What's all this about dread and about Regina? Is it very late, Mother? It's early morning. Dawn is already breaking over the mountains. It's going to be fine, Oswald. In a little while, you'll see the sun. There's still so much to look forward to and live for. I should think so. Even if I can't work, Oh, but now you'll soon be able to work again, my darling. Now that you're rid of all those nagging and depressing thoughts that were worrying you. Yes, you made me stop imagining things now, anyway. And that's a good thing. And if only I can get this last thing settled now. Mother, let's sit down and talk, Mother. While we talk, the sun will rise. And then you'll know. And then I'll have this fear no longer. What am I to know, did you say? Mother, earlier on this evening, didn't you say there was nothing in the world you wouldn't do for me if I asked you? Yes, that's what I said. And you'll keep your promise? You can depend on me, my darling boy. I have nothing to live for but you. All right then, I'll tell you, Mother. I know you are quite strong-minded. You must sit quite calmly when you hear what it is. What terrible thing is this? You mustn't scream. Do you hear? Promise me. You'll sit and talk about it quite quietly. Promise me, Mother. Yes, yes, I promise. But tell me. Well, then I must tell you that all this about being tired, about not being able to bear the thought of work, all this isn't the real illness. What is the illness, then? The disease I have inherited has its seat here. Oswald, no, no. Don't scream, Mother. I couldn't bear it. So it's lurking here, and it can break out any day, any time. Oh, how horrible. Keep calm. That's how things are with me. It's not true, Oswald. It's impossible. It can't be. I've already had one attack over there in Paris. It soon passed, but when they told me how I'd been, how I suddenly became so dreadfully, pitifully afraid, so I sat back at home and as quick as I could. So this is a feeling of dread. Yes. And it's so utterly revolting, don't you see? If only it had been some ordinary kind of fatal disease, because I'm not afraid to die. Although I would have liked to have lived as long as I can. Of course, Oswald, of course, you must. But this is so horribly revolting. To be turned into a helpless child again, to have to be fed, to have to be... Doesn't bear talking about. My child will have his mother to look after him. No, never. It's exactly what I don't want. I can't bear the thought of being like that for years till I become old and grey, and in the meantime you might die and leave me. For the doctor said it wouldn't necessarily prove fatal immediately. He called it a kind of softening of the brain, or something like that. I think that expression sounds so nice. It always makes me think of cherry red velvet curtains. Something soft and delicate to the touch. Oswald! And now you have taken Regina away from me. If only I'd had her. She'd have given me this helping hand. All right. What do you mean by that, my darling? Is there anything in the world I wouldn't do for you? When I came round again, after that attack over there in Paris, the doctor said that when it happened again, and it will happen again, there'd be no hope. How could he be so heartless? I demanded to know. I told him I had certain arrangements to make, and so I had. Mother, do you see this? Yes. What is it? It's morphine. Oswald, my son. I've got 12 tablets stored up. Give me that box, Oswald. Not yet, Mother. I can't bear this. You must bear it. Now, if I'd had Regine here, I'd have told her how things stood and asked her for this last helping hand. She'd have helped me, I'm sure. Never. If she saw me struck down by this ghastly thing, lying there helpless like an imbecile child, beyond all hope of recovery, Regine never would have done it. Never. Regine would have done it. Regine was so marvelously light-hearted. She'd soon have got bored with looking after an invalid like me. Thank God Regine isn't here. Well, then now you have to give me this helping hand, Mother. Me? There's nobody with a better right than you. Me, your mother? All the more reason. Me, who gave you life? I never asked you for life. And what sort of life is this you've given me? I don't want it. Take it back. Help, help. Don't leave me. Where are you going? To fetch the doctor. Oswald, let me out. You're not getting out, and nobody's getting in. Oswald, my child. If you love me, Mother, how can you let me suffer all this unspeakable terror? Here is my hand on it. You will? If it becomes necessary. But it won't be necessary. No. It's quite impossible. Well, let us hope so. And let's live together as long as we can. Thank you, Mother. Yes. What terrible ideas they were to get into your head, Oswald. They're all just imagination. All these upsets have been too much for you. But now you'll be able to have a good long rest at home with your mother beside you, my darling. Anything you want you shall have, just like when you were a little boy. There now, the attack's over. You see how quickly it went. Oh, I knew it would. See what a lovely day we're going to have, Oswald. Brilliant sunshine. Now you'll be able to see the place properly. Mother, give me the sun. What did you say? The sun. The sun. Oswald, what's the matter with you? What is it? Oswald, what's the matter with you? Oswald, look at me, don't you know me?